And hello, everyone, and welcome back to this series on Unveiling the Secrets to. And today I'm continuing our conversation with Sharon Vanessa, who is an awesome person, an awesome art therapist, and just an all-round great person. So we're going to be talking today. I know, right? I'm going to be talking, or we are going to be talking today about what is manifestation really. And I want to bring forward some practicalities on the how. So look, there's no introduction needed for Sharon. We've already recorded so many videos together. Please go and watch them because there's so much good content and so much good essence in these videos. So Sharon, welcome.
Huh? Thanks for having me again. I'm excited to be here. I love these chats. They're so cool.
I know, it's amazing. Look, I don't have a direction of where we're going, but the one thing that I did want to talk about today, and this is something that's been coming to me for on and off for the last few days, and really testing my patience, is that perception is reality.
Yeah.
And how we perceive what we're looking at becomes our reality.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I love this topic. And I have, you know me, I always have a good story, right?
Oh, the floor is yours, my dear.
I don't know even where to start with this, but yeah, perception as reality. And, we bring in that vibration, like I love to call it the vibration of what we put out, and it's what we get back. And through no fault of my own, last week my bank got hacked, and which was a pain. Anyway, I will get the money back that was lost, which that's another story for another day. But in all of that, I had to reset my phone. So all of my apps disappeared. I couldn't log into things. I couldn't connect my phone to my Bluetooth. I said the word F, like I don't even want to say it, about 500 times. Fucking, like, and I was in that space of, I don't even know what it was, like just annoyance, frustration. And, then I got home, I thought, I'm just going to go home and do my invoicing. My internet went down, and then the program that I used decided to have an error. And I was like, like my frustration was being put out there, which was bringing me bloody more frustration.
Yeah.
So every moment that I felt frustrated, more frustration was coming to me. And I think this is the thing. And I actually thought about our last conversation, and I was like, what is it that I'm doing that's making this happen? So it was really like getting that shift of mindset into, okay, what does this need to tell me? Okay, maybe I need to diversify and go to a different bank, which I'd been planning for a long time. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to go open that bank account. Went in there, opened it up. It's where my home loan is. They go, we can do a better rate. I'm like, sweet. So by being hacked, I've now saved some money. Yeah. So that's great. So, like having that different mindset instead of like, talking about it. And I have talked about it a bit because it has annoyed me. I'm like, I can't find YouTube on my phone because the app's not there anymore. It's like, okay, just settle down, just calm down, get back in the moment, get everything sorted, because, the world will be okay. You don't need to keep just manifesting this negative thought pattern now. Everything will be fine. So I guess for me, that's just a current thing. And we could live in that story forever and ever.
Yeah.
But, choosing to not and then move on is going to really change the perspective of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I was in the same boat. I didn't get hacked. But I found the other day, like a couple of days ago, nothing was connecting to my laptop. My Bluetooth speakers weren't connecting. Nothing was working. Like literally nothing was working. I'm going, what freaking planet is in retrograde? No. Don't put the blame out there. Don't
Yeah.
blame anything outside of myself. And I was like you, I was just getting more and more frustrated because I think if it's meant to work, it just should work. It's not that hard, just freaking work. So I left it. I left it and I realized the more that I sat there in this annoyance, the worse it got. So I just went, no, leave it. And then I realized, then I remembered, oh, I've got to go down to the local PCYC and sign up for the gym because my body has been telling me, don't do yoga, don't do Pilates. You've done that. You need to go and do some strength training. And I went, oh, well, I know the local PCYC's got a really great gym. So I drove down there. They're shut. Called them, no answer. Went and did other shopping, came back, they're shut. And I went, I'm so eager to get going. How dare they be shut? So I drove home and I went, hang on. What's the universe trying to tell me here?
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why they're shut. There's a reason why I couldn't get in. There's a reason why I wasn't meant to actually go down this path. And I remembered I've got 2 Zap fitnesses that within walking distance of me, 2 of them. So I went into my local one and I went, love it, love the machines, love everything that I see. Sign me up right now. And then when I was talking to a girlfriend later on at the dog park, she said, oh, the PCYC can only let you in to use their gym equipment when they have an event on, like a circuit or what. And I went, well, that's no wonder the universe didn't want me to even go down this path. And I walked away happy. I go to the gym now, I use my machines, and I'm just building strength in my body again. But I think that is and I was talking to someone yesterday about this as well, is that emotional intelligence, you've got to know when. Like, I don't know about you, but for me personally, doors are closing very rapidly, not opening again, but the next door's opening very quickly as well.
Yeah, I feel that as well. And I think if you can just bring yourself down, stop, listen, look, see what it is for you. Because I feel like we're not listening and we're not seeing what we need to listen and see. And it's like at this moment, whatever it is, the universe, whatever it is going, come on, come on. And it's like giving you big stuff because it's like, what do I need to listen to? And it's a really interesting thing to when you really take notice. And, just in this whole week, it's like, wow, okay, what is it that I need to take notice of? And instead of being in that mode of, negativity or annoyance or whatever it is that I am, it's like bring yourself out of that and come back to a different space because, what you put out is what you get back, really. It's
simple.
Such a thing. And, we've talked about this before, is that everything you need, everything you want, it's right there. You just have to grab it. It's right there just to be taken, but we choose to not do that. And I think once we can start learning to do that, it's such an amazing, tool to use. I guess I'm going to say it's a tool because, every day I do things and I think, how did that happen? And it's like, I wanted that. I just reached out and I grabbed it. Because what you like from a manifestation point of view, I always think, what you want is what you get. So if you, to a point, of course, I'd love $1 million. One day I might win lotto, who knows? But, I'm talking about, if I need clients, I'll write down on my whiteboard, need 2 new clients. And then all of a sudden, boom, 2 clients show up. I have done this with money in the past. I needed to pay out a bill. It was $7,000. And I was like, shit, where am I going to get $7,000 from? And I had a machine that was for sale. Anyway, I had a few offers on it. And on the day, I was sort of like going, oh, my God, I'm going to have to get a loan. I don't know. This guy rang me. He goes, oh, have you still got that machine for sale? And I'm like, yes. He goes, oh, I'll pay you more for it. And I'm like, okay. He goes, how about $7,000? I was like, yes. So
Yeah.
he came over, had a look, was all happy with it,
Yeah.
deposited the money, took the machine, boom, there
Yeah.
was my $7,000.
Yeah.
So it was sort of like, you know, I had that vision of like, I needed the 7,000, but then I sort of went, oh, I'm just going to let it go.
Yeah.
And then that came up. And I mean, that's a random amount of money to sort of ask for, but, you know, just little things we can do this with as well.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And that's where I think that's where the emotional intelligence comes in, as well as you've got to know, you just got to understand. What do I mean by that? It's like when I hit a brick wall, I no longer keep hitting that brick wall. I no longer think that I have to create the door to get through this brick wall. It's there for, I understand now, it's there for a reason. Stop beating yourself over the head with it. Move on. It's not yours. It's not yours. It's not meant to be. So I think that's where the intelligence part comes into it. And when you can, and this is something that came to me this week as well, is that, you know, when you get that intuition, when intuitive hit in your gut,
yeah.
what I saw was that's my future self giving me the nudge that this is what's coming next. And she's there waiting for me.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
literally got to walk towards it and sort of step into her at that moment. Does that make sense?
Totally makes sense. Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I live by the rule that whatever I want is already here. Like if I've been asking, not really, but, you know, sort of, oh, where's my future husband? Where is he? And I thought, you know what, I don't have to wait for him to be born. He's on the earth somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever I want is already here. It already exists. I just have to know how to ask for it and how to go get it. And that's been a big learning. That's been, and you're right, you get to play with it. You get to play with that energy.
Yeah. And I think you have to be comfortable within yourself as well. So I was watching an article the other day, and they were talking about the heart-mind connection. And I work a lot with that in art therapy. You know, the unconscious, the subconscious, and the conscious. And we live a lot in our conscious mind, like our thinking mind. You know, oh, I've got to get up, I've got to go to work, I've got to eat, I've got to do this, I've got to all the time. There's always something that your conscious mind is thinking. But when you can really connect into that heart, that unconscious place, and get those two things to connect, I think that is a really amazing space to be in, because, you know, I've said this before, our bodies know, and whether that's like our body, our soul, our, you know,
whatever it
electrical
is,
field, whatever it is, you know, our higher self, whatever it is that people want to call it, we know what we need. We know that it's there, but it's tapping into that and drawing it out and acknowledging it, because, you know, sometimes you might, you know, have this, like the gut feel, oh, I shouldn't really do that, but you still do it. And then maybe something is not as good as what you expected. But what if you went with your gut and you went, it doesn't feel right, I'm not going to do that? Is that your unconscious saying to you, don't do it? And that's where I think the doors come in. It's like listening to when the doors are opening and closing.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And having the awareness, it's self-awareness to actually know when that door is closed and not to question why the door has closed. Just, you know, for me personally, it's understanding that the door's closed. It's not meant to be. It's not mine. I don't have claim to it. And you're absolutely right. You know, I've been doing the heart mind meditation for quite some time, and I recommend all my clients do it as well. With yours, did you go through heart math to do that? Or did you, Greg Braden?
I haven't done it with any particular person, but just from an art therapy perspective, we work a lot on that unconscious thought patterning and connection. So that's like a big part of our learning. So we do a lot of spiritual and shamanic work in art therapy, which is a lot of that mind, body, spirit, or mind, body, soul connection. So it really just comes through in that. And it's like once you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
So I have done no training in that, but it's just an awareness of, that's what it is. Yeah, I get that.
Yes.
That's what that feeling is. It's really just connecting into your own self, because, you know, for me and for my clients, you know, clients that I work with, you tend to run in patterns, and you'll have patterns. So, you know, it can be different for every person. And it's like when you become aware of that pattern of behavior, it's like it's trying to tell you that's not right. But you keep perpetuating that pattern of behavior until you go, now I get it. I'm going to stop that. And, you know, I only probably last year I realized a pattern that I had in my life. And I was like, oh my goodness me, like, I get it now. Okay, I'm going to stop doing that. So definitely that emotional intelligence of really connecting in that heart and mind.
Yes.
Like I was always in my mind, you know, thinking, I should do this, or I should do that, or I shouldn't do this, or shouldn't do that. But when you just connect into that heart space, and it's like, what do I need? What do I need right now? And sometimes the decisions are hard as like very, very difficult, because you're going against that rational thought pattern. But when you can really connect in with that, I think that's when life can really shift. I know for me it has. And now it's like I just don't seem to worry about things. Like I'll have a bill. I'm like, I know I'll have enough money in the bank to pay it when it's due. And sure enough, it's there. Or, I had a retreat recently last weekend, and people are like, aren't you nervous doing that? How will you get enough bookings? I'm like, I'm absolutely very confident that the right people will be there at the right time.
That's right.
And
That's
sure enough,
right.
they all were, and it all sold out, and we had a great time. So, you know, it's just having that heart faith.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to put it. I tend to tune into my heart a lot more. My head is so over analytical. It overthinks everything. It gives me a huge anxiety if I'm too much in my head. I know it because my body reacts. But if I'm in my heart space, it's a different feeling as well. And I mean, this is something that I love teaching about as well, is that you have to feel it. You have to be able to connect with your heart to feel that thing that you want. Because if you can't feel it, you'll never, ever see it, ever.
Yeah,
exactly. So there's this power to your heart center. Yeah, so for me, it's the feeling. That is the key that unlocks every door. And I know Greg Braden talks about this as well. It's the secret mode of prayer. Right now, the Bible says that ask and you shall receive. And if you don't have it, then you're not asking for it in the right way. I paraphrase that last bit, but you don't have it because you're not asking for it correctly. And the way that I ask for things now is that I feel it as if. It's the as if statement, as if it's already happened. And once I can do the as if it's already happened, then I can just leave it and walk away. And that's a Hopi Indian practice.
I love that
feeling, and it's so simple, so easy to use, because your body is your barometer. It doesn't lie. It doesn't lie. And I know for years and years and years I worked against my body's feelings, or to my detriment, until I learned the lesson, until, like you identify the patterns, and then you can trace that pattern back to the thought or the belief.
The belief. Exactly.
And then you can do something about it.
Exactly. And lots of the beliefs have come from our childhood. So many of them, you know, most of the people I work with, you know, they'll come through with some belief system. And when we do some timeline work and go back, it's like, oh, that happened when I was, 7, or that happened when I was 10, or that happened when I was 9. And it's like, I know. I mean, I don't know, but I know because it's a thing, like we're all told something when we're young about something, and it sends us on a course because a young child's brain doesn't reconcile with that. So I think kids now that are working with parents who are bringing them into this emotional intelligence space are going to be like next level in the future because they're tapping into that thought, that feeling. It's not like when we were growing up, you just sat there and shut up and did what you were told. You kids now do have a voice. Some maybe too much, I've got to say, but like they do have a voice. They do have thoughts. They do have feelings. They're acknowledged for their feelings and their thoughts. Some kids are shitty some days. That's okay. We all get shitty some days. Some kids are overly excited some days, and that's great because they're little humans and they deserve to be acknowledged as those people, to be able to bring that through into adulthood. I think in the future, the next generation of children will have way less, emotional issues than what's around now. Like lots of my clients, are in like their 40s and 50s because we grew up in that era of sit down, shut up, don't say anything, hold your emotion, don't be weak. If you cry, you're weak, and
sit
just
still. And in class, it was sit still, don't do that, don't doodle, you're not paying attention.
Yes.
Like that. They collapsed our creativity.
Oh, 100%. And like people I see in art therapy, because the word art is quite polarizing for people, and they go, oh, I can't do art. And I'm like, that's okay. And clients will go, oh, but how do I do art therapy? And I say, can you hold a pencil? And they go, yep. I go, well, then you can do art therapy. And it's really interesting to see that whole trying to get it right. I've got to get it right. I've got to do it correctly. No, just let it go. And
let it be messy. Who cares? Let it be messy.
Yeah, like paint with your fingers. Like,
oh my God, paint with your feet. I would love that. I would love to do that. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I make people paint with their eyes closed. Yeah. They're like, what? I can't see. So what? It doesn't matter.
You can feel it.
Because it's not about the end result. It's about that connection with that process. It's like dancing, I've done a dance meditation with you in the past where, we've got to move with our eyes closed.
That's
and,
right, yes. All and just trust that, trust that you're not going to run into anybody. And nobody did. It was a room full of, 30, 40 women?
Yeah.
And nobody ran into anyone.
No, and this is the thing. I think we've just got to learn to really reconnect with us, with ourselves. And just be in that space of everything will just be as it's meant to be.
As it's meant to be. That's correct. And are you finding, because I'm finding this as well, as things are speeding up, like super fast. So I don't have time to catch every thought, everything. I have to be in that space of letting go, because I cannot catch everything that's coming my way. So whatever's meant to be is meant to be.
Yeah.
Whatever's mine will find me. And that's one of the other things I live by. Whatever's mine is going to find me. Simple. It will find me. And just getting back to what you were just saying, I love timeline therapy. I love that.
It's so good. It's so
I
good.
love it. I haven't done that for a while with clients, but shit, I need to get into that. I need to get back to that. I love timeline therapy.
Yeah, it's good. It is. And in art therapy, we call it mapping, like life mapping.
Of course, yes.
So it's really good. I mean, it's still exactly the same thing. It's like working on your timeline and mapping, but we do like a few extra processes in with that. But I love the thought of like creating a map, seeing a world and, drawing a little thing. There's a lot of storytelling behind it, creating like a different world almost, but that it's creating new neural pathways. I have to say it slowly. It doesn't flow off the tongue very well. But new neural pathways. So we live in this space of belief, our belief system. Oh, that happened to me, so this is why I'm like this. That happened to me, this is why I'm like this. Oh, I had a horrible childhood, that's why I'm like this as an adult. Right. Yep. Or, you know, whatever the story is that you tell yourself. Okay, great. That story is just that, a story. It's a story, and we're listening to the story over and over and over, and we're believing it. And in mapping, sometimes we actually change the story and we move it. So creating a new neural pathway. Yeah. But also from there, we get to today, the present, and we write the future story, which is even better. Yeah. Because when you do that writing of the future stories, what do you want for yourself? Yeah. And once you do that, well, that's the manifestation, right? Because you've written that story. Yeah. How are you going to go get that? Because it is right there. As I say, your body knows what it wants, what it needs, what the message is. That's just your higher self telling you where you're off to. So it's a beautiful
stepping stone. Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful process. Yeah, amazing process. And I feel like I've done this with you once, the legacy, where you write about when you've died, after you've died. Yeah. Writing your eulogy, what would be said about you after you've passed. And
that has changed. I've already told my son what I want. I want him to show videos. I want him to tell people, well, this is, for those of you who didn't know her, this is her.
I love it.
That's changed.
I love it. I love it. Actually, I saw this thing yesterday, I don't know, somewhere on some stupid social media I was watching, where you can get these little card things now to put onto gravestones.
Yeah.
And you scan your phone on it and it will bring up a video of the person that's buried, maybe like a favorite thing or their last event or whatever, I don't know. And I was watching this one where this man had died and he loved dancing, so it was showing him and his wife dancing, and I was like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. Like, thinking about like that whole after death thing is like, like, you know, he's obviously having a great time up there or down there, I don't know, wherever it goes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mine would be, oh my God, it's so dark in here, let me out.
Oh, I love it. I love it. But it's interesting when we do that kind of work, you know, what people's thought patterns are and how they write their story.
God, yes. And also what I'm hearing in the background there as well is just telling people it's okay. It's okay to be who you are, because that's what I'm going through at the moment with the person that I'm working with on deep-seated childhood trauma issues, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, I'm not belittling what we're doing. It is quite profound. It's giving yourself permission, being okay with the person who you are. And she said to me, maybe your crazy is your brilliance. And I went, oh. And that's when I realized, oh my God, I've been trying to fit into a mold of what I think society wants from me.
Yes.
Maybe my crazy is my brilliance.
Yes.
So that's what I heard coming in the background when you were just talking, is that word permission. That they need that it's okay. It's okay to be who you are. It's okay to go to Coles here in a really fancy schmancy suburb in your pajamas and slippers. It really is okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's that word permission is so profound. Sorry, that just hit me. I just realized that. Okay.
Yeah, but it's true. It's like, and I think giving yourself permission to be like, or to let go, just to let go.
Yeah.
Like, because who's going to stop you?
No one. Oh, the police.
Who's going to stop you? Or maybe, talking about art here, Noelle.
I've got a weird sense of humor. My brain.
I know.
Gutter. Anyway.
I love it. But it's true. Like, I mean, unless you're going to commit a crime, you know, or do something illegal, like who's going to stop you from doing anything? Like if you want to run outside in the rain naked and that feels good for you. I've 3 full moons ago, I went outside because it was massive, and I just stood in this full moon and I went, oh, and I howled at it. And my partner Damien came out. He goes, what the fuck are you doing? And I go, howling at the moon. And he goes, I'm going to do it too. So we're both standing there howling at the moon like idiots in the street. They probably thought we were on some weird.
Beautiful. That's
anyway,
beautiful.
He goes, it's actually really good fun. I mean, you know, my partner Damien, he's always up for a bit of silliness. He goes, that was actually really good fun. And I said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like no one's going to stop us from doing that. Like we just gave ourselves permission to do that silliness.
That's right. That's right.
Because who's it hurting? It's hurting nobody.
Nobody except maybe the neighbours next door, but who cares? Who
cares?
Oh,
and they probably just laughed anyway. So,
that's right. Look at those two next door. Get me a cup of tea and some binoculars, Daryl.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Listen, mate, we are coming to the end and I love our conversation so much. We need to do a part 3 because this is part 2. There is so much more that I want to unravel in this space.
I love it. So much to talk about. It's such a juicy area.
I know, isn't it just? So let's schedule part 3 and let's really give the audience some juicy nuggets.
I love it. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you, my darling. I'll see you soon.
All right.
Bye,
Bye
mate.
everyone.
Bye.